Arknights and Limbus company. That's the collaboration that I missed. I've been told so many times in the comment section, hey, did you know there was a collab that you basically missed? It's bringing me such a joy to know that I missed one of the best collab, at least like to me, because Arknight and the Limbus company are basically like one of these two games that I play probably the most. I would say bold statement, these two games are like one of the best gacha games that I've ever played. I kinda do, but don't want to know what was that collab, you know, but I feel like it's time to kind of figure it out what was that collab about, because I'm just really curious what I missed, and maybe I'm just gonna regret it after this video.
Unfortunately, racism. She went up to try and help, but they attacked her, robbed her, and destroyed her research.
Get out of here, you backwater net-breaking filthy ill.
What is
the collab right after the event of Kanto 8 and was immediately swallowed whole by some kind of anomaly, only to end up in some musty beach. But while Dante is recuperating from getting sucked into another dimension, we get to see,
Oh my gosh, is that a dog?
it turns out somehow Dante and the rest of the sinners have been transported to one of the worst places to live in Arknights. This place is called Iberia, and we'll get to why it's the worst later on. Amiya radioed the sinners, and we get to see serial smoker Gregor and my goat, the nonchalant demon Hong Lu. They basically repeat the same thing about this place not being the usual Limbus Company universe, and Amiya told everyone about how hard it is to even get into Iberia. Sounding like we're in the Vietnam customs. This part is pretty much for the Limbus Company players who don't know about Arknights. So to quickly summarize, Amiya is the leader of a pharmaceutical company. I put that in quotes because they've got to have one of the most overpowered workers in the world. Like, imagine if Warner Bros. Owned the US Army. Wait. The group decide to go back to the village to recuperate, and while heading there, we get to run into my two other favorite characters. The goat, Yi Sang, and Fish. Already, they're trying to team up with this no-thought head-empty woman with a big sword, and before I go on, I just want you all to know, Scotty canonically has a PhD in engineering. Despite eating whole paper plates and also a nonchalant demon, she's actually pretty cool. But we get to our first fight, and not gonna lie, I found it funny that they just took Arknight's PNG of Amiya and slapped down to the announcer. However, I will give them credit for transferring the nervous impairment mechanic into Limbus Company. While it may be one of the most annoying in Arknights, I always like the idea behind it. These creatures are called the Seaborns, or Sea Terror, and they
that's
are
actually
literally
cool.
trying to shut down your nervous system. Like, unless you have the honeyberry, these bastards will give you a bad time.
I would say maybe I'm not gonna feeling that bad about this collaboration because you don't have, you know, the characters in a game. If I would miss, you know, Amiya basically in the Limbus Company as one of the sinners, I would probably lose my mind.
The fighting is pretty easy, and while we are fighting like 16 of them, Scotty is fighting the other half by herself. Then Scotty walked up to us, and the first thing out of her mouth was, "You guys are low-key weird." We ended up heading to the village, and when asked for time, Scotty hit the... She's too funny sometimes. They finally regroup at the village, and we get to see
speaking about the funny character.
But this place was bad. Somehow, they managed to get a place to sleep for 14 people. Scotty was getting suspicious of
Must
these
be a
villagers,
huge.
and I don't blame her. If I learn anything about anime and video games,
Oh my god, like I literally streamed this particular scene like 5 years ago. That was the last horror game that I've ever played. Holy.
The fact that if a group of people are being really nice to you, then they're probably trying to rob you. Apparently, the villagers are trying to build a boat or fix it so that they can sail to sea. For what reason? I don't know yet.
the
But just look
boats.
at this old man and tell me he's not suspicious. I swear, I never trust any characters with their eyes closed as their default. Scotty was like, wait, why is the coast bad? Which made Scotty turn around and wonder how we even understood her. Then she doesn't even answer the question and just left. These Aegirians, man.
Disappear,
I'm not sure
bro.
They're gonna explain it later on, but Scotty here is from Aegir, and they are a whole race of underwater fish people. No, not those fish people. These ones. They're basically Atlanta, an underwater city that's
that looks
extremely
nice.
advanced and think they're better than everyone. However, Scotty is a special case, and we will probably get to that later. Amiya got a fire started, and let me just say, it's not as bad as it looks. I mean, as long as you get some sheets on the ground, the fire going, that's a 3-star hotel at worst.
Yeah, I mean, also we're having the breakfast, you know, ready. Maybe some porridge. Damn.
We start to talk about the city and comparing it to Terra, which, to my Arknight viewers, the city is just as terrible. At least Arknight has Rhodes Island that basically does
peaceful.
charity work. In the city, we're playing late-stage capitalism.
This looks
and
less
every
peaceful.
Single pharmaceutical is overpriced and downright a robbery. Like, for example, we got K-Corp, a company that basically discovered healing pots, and they charge extreme price for the higher quality ones. Then, we also got life insurance from H-Corp, where they literally reverse your
Can you imagine we would also have Fortnite collaboration with Limbus?
death. But guess what? Just like real life, those things are bank breakers. So if you aren't in the top 1%, expect to come back brain dead.
That's a nice place.
Thing that the city banned for total revives because they worry about true immortality, but you already know those companies abuse the loophole. I know some of you in the comments are saying that the city is way worse, but they're both equally terrible. Maybe I'll make a how do people even live in the city video, who knows. But while they're talking, Don Quixote
I actually have one of the video like how people living in the, you know, Limbus company universe. I'm genuinely like curious, so I think it's gonna be like a really interesting video to react to.
got too excited and apparently punched a whole wall down, revealing someone who's been listening in. And it's this girl, who is way too healthy
that's a
looking
cutie.
to be part of the village. Either someone's been skimming the food supply, or again, this village isn't what it seems. But peek the ears real quick. I know this collab isn't supposed to go full deep in the lore of Arknights.
Never
and
mind.
If my assumption is correct,
We like both.
This is the third elf we've ever seen. Amia should be recording this down or something, seeing that a certain person is looking for the remnants of her people. Anyways, this is Mayer's, and she was actually excited to hear Don's story.
Oh,
She
look at her
explained that she's
cute
actually
smile.
the only young one in this entire
I hope nothing gonna happen to her, just like Yuri.
village,
They
and
come
went
to
on to
one.
tell us about the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors were formed after the event of the Profound Silence. They're supposed to be a group that kills Seaborns, but you guessed it, there's a cult, and the Inquisitor will kill everyone who worship these things. Meaning, they out here booming innocent people.
Of course,
and
there's
they
gonna be
suspect
cult.
You have an inkling of sympathy in you. Which is why, oh yeah, the village chief is her grandpa. Which is why her grandpa fled with the rest of the villagers to this rundown village. Yeah, increase that suspicion meter.
Day 1.
We get to
Day
the
2.
next day and the ship is 90% done. So we board the ship and finally get an answer
That's
to why
quick.
the villagers are being so nice. They needed the ship to get to Aegir because Mayor and her grandpa are Aegirian. Wait, hold on. I stand corrected. I'm just a racist. Speaking of racism, we learned that the city only has humans in it, as in they believe humans are the only intelligent beings allowed. So if they catch a creature of a different ethnicity in the vicinity, you best believe they're sending the super soldiers. Anyways, look at the clean interior of this ship. That's gotta be real gold lining in the computers.
Let me just like look at the view. You must be enjoying the morning coffee, like looking at the horizon.
Is in desperate need of food and believe that perhaps Aegir will help them since they have 2 Aegirians. I feel like this is kind of a doomed mission, but Amia is also here, so
Kind of feels
maybe
like
things will be
it.
fine? I don't know the timeline this is supposed to take place in, but Rhodes Island are somewhat friends with Aegir right now. Although before embarking, we gotta defend the ship for the rest
Every
of the
time
repair.
she like smile, like
This time we got 2 new enemies. The
this looks actually really nice. The background, the
Rusher
ship.
and the Seaborn crash out. Now in Arknights, this guy's the most annoying enemy in the game, mostly because they're tanky while also continuously spreading nervous impairment around. The only good thing is that these guys don't attack unless attacked, and they slowly die over time afterwards. However, they're usually the ones
I guess they are
that
less
step into us
annoying.
forcing the aggro mode. Translating, they're actually the instigator claiming self-defense. After successfully repelling the attack with the Seaborns making a tactical retreat, we quickly learn why the Seaborn could be a major threat. Go watch my other video. They have a unique ability to quickly evolve and adapt to anything. And
Oh,
this
no.
isn't an individual trait. They spread that info across their brothers and sister in the hive mind. These big blue bastards
that's
are
bad.
basically mini Maharagas, and mid-battle, they started to learn that the sinners were being commanded by Dante and went after them. But you may be asking, a nightmare, why haven't they overrun Terra yet? First off, how'd you get in my house? Secondly, the only reason why these things haven't become omnipotent yet was because they're kinda dumb, like me. They don't really know when to share anything and kinda just chill and survive. They aren't actually
so desire
malicious,
for
just
survive.
legitimate animals with OP abilities.
Alright, all of y'all need to come with me, cause there's no way I've been surviving in this run-down place.
Oh shoot, what do we do, manager? We should just dip. I mean, everything seems to just be going by the law here. Plus, it ain't like N-Corp where the Inquisitors are full-blown clanker haters. Have you guys tried talking? He's right. Then after.
I really appreciate how he basically like summarized all these things like in a really like simple, short, and kind of like funny way.
Let's kill her.
Also, like huge kudos like putting that like water in the background.
Honglu was right. Let me try to convince her. Hey,
Kinda
you
funny.
lots, what y'all doing in the background? And what's with the clockhead? Don't tell me you're an Colombian. Miss Inquisitor, I am a Mia of Rhodes Island. Rhodes Island? That's not from Iberia, which makes you an illegal.
Whoa, okay, let's.
Oh, you bloody white.
Taxes.
You just go execute everyone. It's not your fault.
What the
Yeah.
hell is he saying? I lost my accent.
Hold up.
Miss Inquisitor, what do you mean that these people shouldn't be able to live in a place like this?
I mean, it's impossible. Even if by some miracle they'd manage to survive, they should be suffering and starving. They clearly look too healthy. That's what I said.
I love
Oh
how
my
everyone
God.
is actually thinking.
I feel like we should maybe do some like a fun voiceover over some particular scenes because like it would be funny. At least like hearing this, it's really funny.
Thinking rationally and much more communicative.
Kinda wanna
now.
try it
Back then,
myself.
we'd be more like reluctant co-workers, but now I think I can say we're friends. But the Inquisitor is making a pretty reasonable argument. We barely know these people, and we don't even know the laws here. Plus, she doesn't even seem like a bad person, but mayors decide to speak up and shock the Inquisitor with 2 words. The profound silence.
What does it even mean?
There was once a golden age of Iberia,
Oh.
the time when they controlled most of the southern coastline. Iberia used to be allied with the Aegir as they dominated the sea with advanced technology. However, one day, the Seaborns begin to emerge from the ocean. At first, they were harmless, like a fish out of water. They were hunted and eaten.
Oh yeah, I remember this picture, and I like seeing the that octopus eye like these coming from the from the water. I think these 2 lovely creatures are eventually cooked.
Despite
Yeah,
the warnings
they're
from
gonna die.
Aegir and other sages, the Iberian government ignored them. Eventually, the ocean
Stupid.
died. Only for a few moments, there was no wave, no signal, no sound. The king at the time issued a nationwide broadcast.
Citizens, nobles, and royals, we have discovered abnormal readings, but fear not. I know that this enemy has done irreparable damage throughout the country. Your internet was cut off by none other than the cruelty that is the ocean, the army, and I. Fernando Alejandro Ruiz de Castro Torres Rio Iberia del Atlas.
I'm not dramatizing, by the way. The king literally addressed all of his titles in the first sentence of his speech, which, by the way, due to the signal shortage, didn't even reach most of the Iberians and was cut off by a massive tsunami, toppling ships, buildings, and Iberians alike. While they tried to scream, the ocean smothered their sound. From waves crashing against the shore to the chiming of city clock towers, all noise faded away. The golden age was no more. Iberia was gone. And this was when the cultists began their activities. They
I have to say now, like I got like so into this like last 2-3 minutes. I literally forgot that I'm recording, and I also literally forgot this video is supposed to be about the Limbus company, at least like half of it.
swept into the destroyed nation, pretending to be Aegirs, and manipulated many of the survivors into joining the Church of the Deep. That's why the Inquisitors are so ruthless. Iberia became an isolated country after the
You can
incident
see
and
like
has been
how
dealing with
concerned
this
she
threat
is.
ever since. Then the Inquisitor looked at Mayers and deemed that she knew way too much. If an Aegirian knows this info, then there's a chance they're from the church. Dante orders the sinners to protect Mayers. The Inquisitor raised her hand cannon. Then Calzet appears to stop the fight. Damn! Dr. Calzet deflected the Inquisitor bullet, and that single bullet was like a cannonball because it punched through several buildings. Like, even if the buildings were dilapidated, that bullet just tore through the entire village. That actually explained how she has a 50% armor pen built into her kit. Oh yeah, and her name's Irene. Some of the sinners has never seen this much power. I mean,
it's really interesting. Like, I actually had a little bit different like expectation when it comes to the collab, but like kind of like also makes sense, right? Because like Limbus company's like story-driven game. So now I kind of see it, but like at the very beginning, I kind of thought there's gonna be, you know, some like a gameplay type of event with, you know, maybe some like a skin or aesthetic rewards. But like having this like really, I would say, deep, interesting, you know, side story, if you will. Maybe let me know if I can, you know, play this story, but I guess not. I'm actually amazed like how many Arknight characters we got introduced into this collaboration, because like first I thought there's gonna be either Doctor or just like a Mia, because like she's kind of the icon of the Arknights.
Makes sense. It's a taboo for a single person to hold this much firepower. Dr. Calzet is actually here to inform them that Rhodes Island is no longer an illegal.
You're so kind to us. Let us thank you for all you've done.
I knew it, I told you. Close eyes people are never to be trusted. The villager stabs the closest person to them with a dagger infused with seaborn flesh. Amia rushed over to Dante.
Did you see this like dude? Where was it?
This person to them with a dagger infused with.
Look at this dude, like the eyes like behind, like the sneaky little
seaborn flesh. Amia rushed over to Dante to protect them, managing.
This literally looks, I forgot the name, literally reminding me the character from Reverse 1999.
To deflect a dagger away. Then Scotty came back and smashed the cultist. She was out all night to investigate. The chief was telling them to rejoice. He was happy. In fact, he didn't see this as a betrayal, more of a welcoming. Told Dante the grave news. Your friends are going to die, or worse, turn into a seaborn. They have been infested. No, this can't be. We've been through so much together. Oh well. Hey, can you guys kill my friends? I know this sounds bad, but what? You can't just give up on your friends yet. We take them back to...
Job done.
What the heck?
What?
Revival.
How unfortunate. I had high hopes for all of you.
You guys good? Yep. Alright, let's take it down. In this fight against Fabius and the cult.
I gotta say, I just really like the background. It was really nice to see that like both, you know, in the background and now having this like different environment. I don't know, maybe I'm just like paying attention to like a ridiculous amount of unnecessary details, but I'm starting to be a little bit more like perceptive when it comes to the surroundings, and yeah, I really do appreciate those kind of things.
They will try to stack with debuff called Sea Tear, a simulation, which after 5 hits will instantly one-shot your sinners. Unfortunately, I have 5 million powers and Rise of Homeland and can obliterate the entire games with my bands of furries. I don't think they thought this through when they released Mouse. Oh, you get back here right this instant. Don't worry, there's nothing but sea in that direction. No, the boat! What kind of boat? Ah, it's called the Vessel Rebellion de la Masas. What? That's a golden age boat. We could try to build a raft and row after them.
Might, come on.
The vessel disappeared with every single villagers. Well, except they left Mayers behind. Our plans have deviated due to the loss of the ship, but after careful consideration and negotiation, shout out to Dr. Calzet, the Inquisitor decided to trust Mayers, at least for a bit.
Never trust anyone.
Ship. Due to it being a Golden Age vessel, none of the current boats can catch up, so we have to somehow find its location through the foggy ocean. To do that, we first have to search for a lighthouse. Due to the profound silence, most of the lighthouse were destroyed or in disrepair. Luckily, There's just one nearby apparently,
There's another?
according to Mayors. But we need to build a raft for 17 people because Dr. Khalzit has to go visit the goat. We also need to prepare for a battle since there's bound to be Seaborns.
Job's done.
Told you she had a PhD. Now this next part is pretty cool. So we get to see
I gotta say that the Scotty in this like story, I wish to experience it on my own because like like as far as I seen her to like everything like in this video, she seems to be like really funny, you know, kind of feature in the story, if you will.
crew rowing to the lighthouse, and mind you, lighthouses are freaking huge. I don't think you guys want me to rant about lighthouse, but these are called Eyes of Iberia and they are massive. But then, for some
Huge.
reason,
That's
he
what she
already
said.
told everyone that not a single soldier or inquisitor has made it out alive in any attempts at recovering a lighthouse.
Okay.
That's not how you rally the people. That's okay though, because we have Scotty. Yeah, I'm gonna stay behind. For plot reasons, Scotty had to defend the raft while the rest of the group went to the entrance. They knew she was
Interesting.
too OP for the story, but they made it to the entrance and was stopped by the flesh of the Seaborn. At first, they were discussing on how to open the door because it kept regenerating. Then, we were about to go and call Scotty until we get this scene. Dante reached into Amiya's memory and extracted a new ego. We gave it to my girl, Ishmael.
No way. So I'm missing the ego?
한눈 팔지 마세요.
Yo.
당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
Guys, please tell me this is the most useless ego that we currently have in the game. Please just like make my suffering a little bit more bearable.
Oh, you see this? It's so cool to see how we even get the event ego. As we enter the lighthouse, we need to run through a gauntlet of enemies, introducing a new mechanic, the Nether Sea branch. Blue stuff. These Nether Sea founders, when killed, will cover the map in the blue stuff. If you stand on blue stuff, you lose 5% max HP and build up even more.
Oh, that's not good, I
But
guess.
that's not all. When the blue stuff is on the field, all Seaborns get a buff to their attack. But honestly, as long as we clear the buff right away or avoid killing them, it's a pretty easy mechanic to deal with. The other new enemy is just a shotgun. But honestly, AoE is best in these gauntlet fights. We made it all the way to the top and Faust handled the repair with ease, which allowed us to radio in. What is this overwhelming intensity?
Oh.
Somehow, Mayors know about this knight and told everyone that if we don't get down there to fight him right now,
Well,
we
having
will topple
Greatest
the entire
Collab, that would be
lighthouse.
also
So,
insane.
Without many options, Dante ordered all hands on deck and we descended the stairs to clash with the last
Yo,
knight,
light him
trusting
up.
Mayors to finish the repair. Okay, this fight is honestly so cool. The last knight is a legendary figure
No, I don't
that
wanna
has been
see
alive
it.
for possibly over 100 years. But he's kind of like Batman, but for the sea. Most
No,
people
don't
don't even know if he's real and have only known him from legends. Even he has forgotten himself after being alone at sea for so long. He fights the ocean and tries to kill the source of the Seaborn, but
man.
ended up getting corrupted over time. And this fight was no exception to that.
my
I
God.
love when you get these choice options before a fight as well as the lore bit. I choose to attempt to talk to the knight, and after seeing that we aren't Seaborns, the knight went a little easier on us. His mechanic is about countering hits.
Yo, this looks such a I really love this one. Maybe it's also this like really kind of unique sword that I'm seeing, but I don't know, like there is something like within me that every time I see some like badass looking like, you know, knight like in the armor or things like that. Maybe because I grew up like, you know, playing MMORPG like World of Warcraft, things like that. I'm just really like liking these type of characters, and yeah, maybe if you know like Lich King, you know, from the WoW. I just really like those type of
low center comp
character
because
design.
The more you hit him, the more cold you'll build up. When that hits 3 stacks, your sinners will lose 20 sanity and is stunned.
Is he gonna have
for
some,
1
like,
round.
phase 2?
That is an insane debuff. He also got a second phase as well as free 80% damage reduction. But counter argument, ruptures true damage, and I have 5 million powers. Oh my gosh, he's doing it again!
I'm not done yet.
My whole team is frozen. It's up
Oh.
to you, Sinclair.
Okay, I cannot go back, but that like stance that was pretty cool. Yeah, this one, just like seeing him how he like wielding the sword. Also, was this the Heathcliff? Yeah, this like chicken master also looking pretty fine, but it's literally like black versus red versus blue.
76 left. This guy
Like
is too
Yin
strong.
versus Yang.
Rennie is almost out of ammo and her lantern is nearly done. All of the sinners are getting tired and Dante tries to figure out what to do. That's when they saw it. Is that what I think it is? A bright light of an office worker. A
Priestess.
Casimir knight who sits far from his glory.
Just imagine.
I can only
That
hand
would be
this
actually
to someone
insane.
who doesn't pursue that glory. Someone who can handle their own tarnished glory.
Oh, Mr. Gregor.
Show him what you got, Greg. The Radiant Knight.
Is this another collab, Ego? Oh my god, did I see that like lighting sword? Oh my god, it's over. I am done with this video. Just look at how he wielding that sword. And we like literally halfway through the video. Do I dare to click on a play? Well,
이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은
oh, it got even wings.
빗발이지 않은 틈.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, that literally did nothing. Potential man strikes again. The last night was about
Still,
to
it
ram
looks
us
really
one last
cool.
time, and there was no way we can stop him. But just before he did, the lighthouse activated, and Mayer found the vessel that got away. Their key home is still in sight. And yet, how can we... Don Quixote, don't get so close!
Oh, mighty knight, what is the name of thy noble steed?
That reminds me the Kanto 3.
Dante.
Oh, my noble steed is also Rosciante. Here, look.
Don managed to talk the last night into leaving, somehow. Maybe they're too bonded on their shared love of horses. But Amiya contacted the doctors, and they already infiltrated the vessel and cleaned the deck. So we headed back to the raft where Scotty is, and due to plot reasons, she's going to stay behind. But we finally get to the vessel.
That's very
and
sus.
This was when the most anticipated interaction begins. Dante, this is the doctor, researcher of Rhodes Island. Nice to meet you. The clock just...
Oh, we
he
got the
said
doctor.
Okay. Thanks for making
It's like he's weird.
sure my surrogate daughter is okay. You know, I got pretty worried when we were separated at the borders. Dude, I should be thanking you and her, actually. I mean, we would have been in a...
That's too embarrassing to repeat.
Dante said we would have been in a real pickle without Miss Amiya. Huh. You know what? I like you, funny man.
Okay.
For Limbus players, we got a demonstration of the Doctor's tactical mind. It turns out that the cultists have barricaded themselves inside of the control center, and in order to best approach, they're really good at this whole strategy thing, trying their best to minimize casualty and sacrifice. I'm out here just pressing the win rate button. Even Otis is talking with them.
It's okay, manager. It's not in your job description. Besides, you're more proficient with on-the-spot commands.
What are they on about?
I have no idea.
Before we begin the raid, Mayers was about to request something, but decided to hold off.
I actually don't know if this story like overall is good, or is this video just like making it even like 10 times more funnier than it eventually is.
Though she's going to hang back until everything is over. I feel like she's either going to be stuck between helping her grandpa or choosing to side with us, which in turn...
Also, like, seeing the doctor here, right? Like, I don't know if you play the Arknight Enfield, but seeing this, like, in Arknight, and then, like, in the Arknight Enfield, it's like Gigachad versus some, like, type of baby character.
...side with us, which in turn forcing her to betray us and turn into a final boss or something. I don't know. But, real quick, I did not think Irene can make this face. But we finally get to boxing and surrounded the cultists. Rhodes Island style maybe to protect and defend, but for us... Trust in me to bring you back, no matter how many times they cut you down. This fight takes the combined force of everything we fought, only it's not that difficult. The reason why Arknights version is more annoying in a good way is because the enemy forces you to hit trigger them or don't even give you the ability to clean the blue stuff before
I think it's because like it's different, it's basically a different, you know, genre of the game, right? Like this is turn-based game, that one is the tower defense. I think if you're trying to replicate, you know, the same like mechanics, it's not gonna be like the same impactful, so...
In this case, I can just ignore the big guy while also not killing the blue stuff spawner until near the end. Even if I do boom them, I can just cleanse the first stage right away, making it feel like the mechanic isn't even there.
Oh my god, I just noticed they literally fighting on the boat.
Like, this only affects people who don't read. That little, he's running again! The cultists and other Seaborn purposely block the way as we try and catch the bishop with the cult. Only... I knew it! Wait.
Oh, Bishop, eat me and gain the experience.
It turns out Mayor was the true bishop all along. The reason why
Shocking.
Fabius wants Mayor to eat him is because that's actually how the Seaborns adapt. The weak would feed themselves to the strong to prioritize survival. That's also partially why they aren't fully omnipotent yet, because they simply didn't think about passive adaptation. Regardless, Mayor's declined and allowed the sea to devour Fabius instead.
Oh, why everything is in red?
Mayors didn't want to turn. Not yet. She was sad. She apologized for how her followers have been treating them. Of course we were mad. She deceived us. But it wasn't her intention. Though what really surprised me is that while she does want to turn us into Seaborns, she doesn't want to force her beliefs onto other people. But look at where we are. We are close to the dimension hole, which means our home is just within reach. Mayors explained to us the reason why she knows so much. She saw the city, saw how everyone is suffering and having to live paycheck to paycheck. So she wants to bring the Seaborns to the city and assimilate everyone there.
I was like, this is kind of giving me the priestess vibe, and when the last word was like simulation, well, it literally like Priestess 2.0 or maybe like 1.0.
Before we talk about the city versus Seaborn, I want to discuss her philosophy. Mayors is conflicted on turning because when you become a Seaborn, you lose all sense of yourself and your ego.
Yeah, that sounds nice. That's lovely.
You never have to worry about anything other than just living. No more fighting between one another, no more disagreements that could lead to altercation.
Yeah, I mean, at one point I understand, but like on the other hand, that sounds like the borest life that you could ever live.
But with everything Mayor has seen, she wants the Seaborn to have dreams, not just to survive, but to also live. And with that contradiction, she was confused.
I guess you want too much.
Still, she saw that humanity
you cannot have all of
fighting each other. Due to selfishness, we do bad things. But she admits that good things can also come from selfishness too. When the subject of discrimination came,
I feel like she's kind of confused, right? Like she literally doesn't know like what she wants. That kind of what I'm getting from the last like 2 minutes.
She said that if everyone's a Seaborn, then that wouldn't even be a problem. She admires Rhodes Island and told them their efforts, no matter how small of a change it has been,
and she's gonna be like, you know what? Let's kill them all. I changed my mind.
Still worthwhile. She knows it takes time for change to happen, but she offers a solution. Why take all of those time when the people are now suffering and dying due to said discrimination and infection? Why let anyone else be a sacrifice? Heck, even when you hear the infected problem, there will still be people looking to say stupid things and hate on others' appearance. Just look at the real-life AIDS epidemic back in 1980s. This argument basically boils down to return to monkey. Except due to being in a hive mind, everyone and everything will work together. For my views on this, I would still refuse to join the Seaborns because I believe in Rhodes Island. While the idea of not needing to worry about anything other than survival is great, I prefer to be myself.
It's kind of boring, let's be real.
I want to go out and achieve my own dreams. I want to see and create a bunch of random stuff. Despite the anxious time we live in now, I have no doubts that we can make it through, that you can make it through whatever ordeals you're going through. I mean, just look at our past. We created computers through putting rocks together and somehow put electricity in it. We went to space and
Very
landed
impressive.
on the moon. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. The Sinner discussed the possibility of just letting the Seaborns through because there's no doubt that the hand could come for them due to being a different race. However, there's also the possibility of a loophole. While the Seaborns are weak the way they are now, any of the major company can just scoop them up, claim that these things are for research, and, you know, accidentally let them loose. Remember,
Yeah, accidentally. Actually, like seeing that like last minute, I'm actually kind of glad that this is kind of like, you know, different universe, not the Limbus company. But I also having a feeling that I'm gonna be witnessing something a little bit upsetting, you know, in the story, like a little bit in the future. You know, something related to the corporations, things like that.
Adapt, and the city is omega corrupt. That's why seeing Rhodes Island for them is mind-blowing. Heck, I don't even know how Rhodes Island make money. Like, contract job cannot be paying that much for someone like Exia to help us. So if one of the Seaborn just assimilated a highly advanced piece of tech, or better yet, just a color fixer, basically just assume they assimilated Scotty, that's it. There's no hand to defend the city. Plus, it would be nearly impossible for the wings to even work together because they see the destruction as a way to expand or make more money, which leads to now. What do we do against mayors? Well, while I was discussing and showing all of this, and because we are so close to the Limbus Company universe, Mayors begins to
disappear. Oh boy. This is the end game right there.
Is this Limbus Company's specialty? Faust explained that Mayors is beginning to distort, her confidence broken and her ironclad will shattered. In the Limbus Company universe, having an extreme mental breakdown can cause you to enter a debate. It is said that a calming, gentle voice speaks with you during this time. If the person denies the voice, then they will manifest an ego, a massively powerful weapon or armor to defend themselves. If the person chooses to accept the voice and allow the emotion to take place, well, the voice continues to appeal to Mayors' desire, telling her that the light of the city can give her that hope she so wished for.
Oh my god.
Besides, she doesn't have to concern herself with what others think. While she's twiddling her thumbs right now, people are dying. You don't have to hide yourself. Okay, are we just gonna sit here? Somebody shoot her. Uh-oh. Something's blocking our way. During the distortion
What's going
event,
on?
there's this mysterious pressure that blocks people from interfering. Because of this, the only thing you can do
Kraken.
is watch and prepare for a potential fight. Remember what I told you earlier? Because of your vulnerable mental state, it is nearly impossible to deny the voice. So with one last
Wait a
vulnerable
minute, what
mental
was
state-
that? So please let go of this tool that might break your heart. Yeah, sure.
Prepare for a potential fight. Remember what I told you earlier?
Love is our collective destination after all.
Because of your vulnerable mental state, it is nearly
That's literally what
impossible
cult
to
leader
deny
would
the
say.
voice. So with
Like,
one
quite
last
literally.
push, the voice told her to follow through with her wish and desires before the compassion they believe in become
Show them
completely
painting
worthless.
of the...
Dante understood her
Yo,
feeling.
what the
Even
heck
they
is
have
that
seen
thing?
The horror of the city due to their own amnesia, but they do not understand the Seaborn, Terra, or Iberia. We can't bring Mayors with us to the city as she is now. The distorted Mayors
What is
understood
Scotty when
us
she
and
need me?
expressed her kindness towards our group.
When she need her.
She reiterates that she knows things can change and will change. She just wants to make that happen now. So, a gate that leads into her heart appears. Since this is Limbus' specialty now, we decide to go inside along with the doctor, Amiya, and Irene. Mayer was an Aegirian scientist. She lived through the profound silence and even sympathized with the land dwellers. Unfortunately, racism. She went up to try and help, but they attacked her, robbed her, and destroyed her research.
Get out of here, you backwater net-breaking filthy ill.
That was really bad.
She tried everything to help despite of this, and still, they blame her people for the calamity and even arrested them. None of
Well,
her research against the
it's
Seaborn
what it
did
is.
anything until she switched side. She saw that the Seaborns were truly altruistic. So that's why she became a bishop of the Church of the Deep. She saw the endless violence.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
justifiable? Honestly, it made sense since she came up to help,
I mean,
but was
technically.
hugely discriminated against. They literally vandalized her ship with a name, by the way. But Irene was like, screw that, Seaborns are threats to humanity as a whole. Then Mayor told them she's literally going to leave to the city so Terra wouldn't have a problem. But Iberia and the Inquisitor will not push
It's
their
too late to
problem
go
other
back.
nations.
We need to
Then
eliminate the
Ishmael was like,
threats.
yeah, even if you wrap that stuff up into a compassionate gift, we still don't want it. So Mayor got tired of this and started the Zerg Rush. Rhodes Island plus Irene will defend the rear and allow Limbus Company to push forward and take down Mayors. Inside the Phantom, we fought through another gauntlet of Seaborns to reach
Okay.
Mayors. While fighting, we run into her memories, such as seeing an Aegirian being attacked by a mob. The mob blames the Sea People of causing the calamity. They must be the reason why everyone has lost something. But the Aegirian told them they were there to help. The research was brought to help the land dwellers, but the mob does not care. I couldn't let this go on, so I chose to help them, and thanks to Irene, we were able to disperse the crowd. However, the researcher began to doubt themselves. Why even bother helping these ungrateful land dwellers if they're just going to help me? To be honest, I agree. That's the emotion side of me talking. If I was the researcher, I'd just leave.
Yeah.
But because I am an outsider
Same.
in this case and because I want to help everyone, I think the best thing to do is to convince the Aegirian to stay and continue to help. Those people may not need it, but someone does.
Who will
There's
speak?
always going to be haters. So after landing a coin toss, the Aegirian was convinced and decided to shift their research. At first, I was worried because I accidentally made another cultist, but they told me they were gonna shift towards removing salt from soil so people can farm again. Whew, massive sigh of relief. They also gave us the
I guess
research
that's a
note,
huge
which,
improvement.
Damn, 20% bonus damage is a lot,
Yeah,
especially
that's
with
nice.
the comp I'm running. After another fight with Sinclair triggering every single one of the crash out at once, we met an old man up on a cliff. He was reminiscing about the lighthouse and how he used to shine them towards the sea. We had two options, either tell
Leave.
the man to leave the cliff because it's dangerous or ask about the keys in his hand. He told me that a lighthouse keeper
course he's gonna be
always has
asked.
3 keys on him. One to open the door, one to turn on the light, and one to send a message. Then, he insistently handed us the key, stating it won't be any use to him anymore. Then, he disappears.
Because he's gonna
Upon
die.
checking the key, oh my gosh, what kind of key is this? Funny enough, I barely use ego in this game because of the let's just call it RPG hoarding. But with this new gift, I can basically spam them now. Before entering the Golden City that resembles the city in Limbus Company, we took a break. There was a sense of calm and banter, like when
That
someone
music.
who I presume
I'm
to be
kind of
Irene
waiting.
told the
I'm kind of expecting like right after there's gonna be like something, you know, basically the very opposite, like happy music, and now we're gonna go back
doctor
to.
they need to work on their cardio
back
some
to
more,
the
or else
shitter.
Amiya will have to carry them on a piggyback ride. To which prompted Otis to tell Dante that we can trust her to carry us if need be. But while staying here, the
I'm good.
Seaborns actually just passed by us, even giving us some concerned looks as if they were worried for us. All of our sinners healed up and we proceed to the final fight.
Ooh,
The
That's
boss
him.
stage is simply one of
Or
the
it.
best Project Moon has ever designed, especially for a collab event. In this fight, Mayor the Yearning Flotsam is an incredibly tanky enemy, sparking a 100% damage resistance and 90% damage reduction to true damage sources. The mechanic is to
Damn.
fight her hordes of Seaborns because each of their death deals damage to her. Amiya also gives us an emotional connection buff, which
Emotional.
I actually like because it encourages the use
oh my god, like emotional support. I mean, it's really funny. At the same time, it kind of makes sense because, like, you know, she cannot. I mean, technically, she could be, you know, one of the sinners, but I would say, like, not really, right? So it's really like funny, like emotional connection, you know. So at least she feeling a little bit useful, you know, in this particular fight.
of ego.
Here's my support. Defeat
But
this.
the real fight begins when you trigger her second phase. After getting her to half health, she pops a Zomain expansion, Event
Oh, okay.
Horizon, spawning a black hole behind her as she rains down shards of blue stuff. We get to see
Oh,
more of
damn.
May's beliefs and backstory as she tries to figure out how to retain herself when she becomes a Seaborn. But then, when the dimensional gate opened revealing the city, a voice spoke to her. claiming that the light from the city is what she needed. The light is referring to the White Night and Dark Days event that I will not be going into. But the sinners in Rhode Island argue against this sentiment. Yes,
Yeah, just look how...
going into. But the sinners in Rhode Island are
Yeah, just look like how Mia is like so pissed. She just don't wanna give like emotional support any longer.
against this sentiment. Yes, there are suffering. Yes, there are discrimination. But there are also people fighting every day against that. Her belief isn't what others are dreaming
Everyone's
about.
tired,
She
just, like,
doesn't
cut it
fully
off.
understand the city. Now, both sides of the argument is pretty valid, and I wouldn't blame some of you for agreeing with the Seaborns.
What worth could there be to a life of the unkind? The kind of life humanity is doomed to exist in, where all we ever do is hurt and hate one another.
Listen, efficient order, natural altruism, they're both virtues humanity should never lose sight of. There's no such thing as absolute when it comes to the value of life. Survival is the right of all civilization.
That's actually an interesting statement because like I was doing the reaction of the, you know, the priestess lore, and I feel like the doctor was standing in a little bit different shoes because I feel like the priestess were more like pro survival, the doctor was like pro life like in general. So
The right of all civilization, which means that it should never be up to others to define the worth of life. Mayors didn't
Okay,
want to keep
that's
trying to find the
interesting.
answer. She was tunnel vision
Like
on
from the
this being
doctor.
her solution. She was afraid to continue on alone, to wander aimlessly again. But she doesn't have to shoulder this burden by herself. She should try talking more.
bam.
If you thought
It's
this fight was
gone.
easy, then you haven't seen anything yet. Her second phase is her actively doing something. This time she dropped her damage reduction,
It's literally like a Gojo, you know, that like barrier that you cannot like
but to
breach.
make up for it, she does a lot of unstoppable damage. Honestly, there's not much to say other than it's a very aesthetically cool boss.
Yeah. Damn, there must be actually a really cool fight. And she's cooked. Was it horse?
Dante asked Mayor
Don't tell
if
me
she
there was a
still
horse
wanted to
like
go to
in
the
that
city,
skill.
to which she finally returned to normal and answered no. She'll remain on Terra and broaden her studies. She'll choose to talk more so that she can find a new path and fulfill her wish. With that, the phantom fades, leaving us back on the vessel. Mayers is now unconscious due to the heavy mental strain she was put under, and despite being misguided, Rhodes Island will be sure to help her out. Though she must deal with the Inquisitor judgment first. But with everything over, it's time to...
Go home.
What the heck? Oh my gosh!
Another
Just when I
fight?
thought it was over, a giant Leviathan appears and slams into the ship. Then Scotty, what the heck? Weren't you at the lighthouse? Apparently, she told us that the Leviathan is after her since she's an abyss hunter as well as having a special kind of blood. Again, go watch my other video
Right.
for that. But what's important right now is to not sink into the seaborne infested ocean. Oh my gosh, another Seaborn? Is going to be fine.
Two
Mr.
Seaborns.
Inquisitor. If that's the knight from earlier, then I doubt he'll be able to stop himself from charging that giant sea monster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ishmael is actually kind of like a pirate, right? It's actually rather interesting, like based on this like entire video. I didn't see Ishmael like that much, but I know that like based on the Limbus company that I'm playing, she's kind of like a perfect match for... She would be definitely like perfect match for this type of like scenario because like she has this like kind of pirate or like sailing vibes, which basically in retrospect I kind of found it a little bit weird that like she didn't have like that much screen time.
I'm jumping to it. That is so cool. The dimension gate is closing, which means we didn't
Look at them, Mia, like finally, let's go home.
get a chance to say a proper goodbye. But the sinner leave as a Mia wave, and the rest say their goodbyes. Oh, we're back in H-Corp. Man, it all felt like a dream. A really real dream. Even got these strange egos too. Huh. I remember these strange words from someone. Alright team, let's get back to work. I'm not gonna lie, this video is a bit late. I mean, I was really busy making a doctor video and trying to survive, so I only got 5.
Oh my god, this looks really nice. This looks really nice. Oh my god, I'm low-key a little bit disappointed I couldn't play this, you know, this dungeon.
Days to enjoy the collab. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Amazing event. I don't know if I already said that. I don't really care that the collab egos are limited. My only concern was not getting a Mia in time. But overall, a solid story. I like how they made it into the canon. I also like the message as well because at the end of the day, both games are set in a terrible world, yet it contains so much hope for a better
Look at this
future and
Gregor.
people working towards it.
Well, what can I say? Like, on the one side, I'm kind of a little bit sad that I didn't have a chance to play this story, but also, like, at the same time, this video was basically, like, really long and basically explained the entire, like, story overall. And yeah, maybe besides, you know, a few egos and stuff, I probably didn't miss as much. I feel like the story, like, overall has been really interesting. I definitely laugh a lot. Like, maybe it's because of this format of the video, not just the like story overall, but overall it was really interesting, especially like, you know, this kind of knight like character, and even the end game boss looks like really aesthetically, visually really nice. And also at the same time, I really enjoy how they implemented, you know, a few more Arknight characters into this particular story, which I think it was really nice. And also at the same time, it was really kind of insightful to see how the game that basically, you know, not having any upcoming characters, you know, that you can eventually play because everything is related to these 12 sinners. So how they basically implementing some type of collab. Because like overall, I think this is gonna be, you know, a little bit kind of challenge or the tricky part, especially if you don't have the option to add more extra, you know, limited character to the game. So basically how you gonna embrace this, you know, collaboration, so you're gonna satisfy like both people or like both groups. So yeah, like I think overall that this was actually a pretty nice collaboration. Well, what can I say? I'm a little bit sad I don't have any particular ego. Yeah, who knows? Maybe there's gonna be another Arknight collab, or maybe I'm just coping. Anyway, for those who actually play this collab, just, you know, let me know in the comment how you actually enjoy it. This was really great and fun video. Hope you enjoyed with me, and I'll see you next time. Have a lovely and wonderful day. Take care.